What? How's this balanced? Anyways, today we're going to take a look at all the unique skulls in game and rank them according to their DPS, skills, cooldowns and scaling. Just gonna add a little disclaimer. The ranking of these skulls come from my experience of playing 1 billion hours of this game and is definitely not based on personal biases and opinions. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. At rank 8, the Berserker. It's a power skull with its attacks focusing primarily on physical damage. The skull draws its references from Bleach, which I'm not sure about, to be honest. Now don't get me wrong, this skull isn't bad. It deals quite a bit of damage and is quite powerful in the hands of someone who's used to the skull. The major problem with this skull is its movements and its scaling. It just doesn't scale well into the later stages of the game as, say, a ninja or the prisoner. Just playing with this skull is clunky and dodging enemy hits is pretty difficult. At rank 7, we have the Predator. Now, there's been Reddit posts about people saying that this is a pretty powerful skull and people are actually winning with it. I'm just going to be honest with you, this skull is pretty pathetic. Just straight up, like, this would rank lower than the Berserker, but it has a little bit of better movement and animations than the Berserker. But that's where its praises end, because frankly, its damage is abysmal compared to its peers. It could be used for crowd control with a proper build, but there's just better options if you're looking for something like that. And this skull derives its mainstream media references from the movie Predator. At least I think so. Number 6. The Samurai. Now people are gonna be pissed about this and I can understand that. This skull is far better than its previous class skulls. Then why is it so low? It deals damage, it has the movement speed and dodging mechanisms. Well, simply put, it's just a shittier version of the ninja. The ninja far outshines when it comes to doing what these skulls do, which is basically evasion. It's very difficult to hit these skulls while they rip Corleone soldiers apart with their damage. Also, the Samurai is a bit clunky and difficult to move around compared to other skulls in this list. Its pop culture references should be pretty obvious are the samurais, even though it's wearing a Vietnamese sort of hat. Number 5. The Ghost. There's probably a lot of people who don't even know this skull exists, because I don't know why this skull's drop rate is very low, like it barely shows up even when you're getting better skulls than this one. I can count on one hand how many times I've gotten this skull drop in my runs. But this is a cool skull. It's a reference to Dullahans from the Irish folklore. This skull has a build-up mechanic into it. Basically, using basic attacks with this skull builds up a gauge, the Ghostfire gauge. When it's full, it puts your skull in combustion mode. In combustion mode, you're constantly dealing damage to your surroundings, and with your skills, deal more damage and have longer status effects on enemies. So why is the skull at this rank? Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, just one problem with this skull is its downfall. It has absolute crap range. Like, you can swing a sword in front of a Corleone soldier's face and it probably won't hit them. And even its skills are very contact based. Basically, you have to stand right on top of the enemies to deal damage with this skull, which as always opens you up to getting hit and taking damage. Number 4. You have the Dark Paladin. Now this is a skull that you can't really complain about. It's got good damage, good animations, solid lore. Which reminds me, there's going to be a lore video about Skul the Hero Slayer where I cover why the Corleone guys are not exactly as evil as you think they are. More on that in the future. Back to the Dark Paladin. Like, it's real. It's good. But it's not real good, if you get what I mean. It's a very balanced skull. It deals just the right amount of damage to be at this rank and has enough range with its skills like Dark Wave to be actually good. All I have to say about this skull is You won't regret picking this skull up, but you'll always be looking to ditch it for the next 3 skulls on our list. Rank 3. We're getting to the top 3 unique skulls now, damn. So sitting at rank 3 is Ninja? Wait, whoa. Isn't this a favorite skull among the community? Why yes it is. It actually held the top rank among unique skulls for a very long time. Hell, it's still better than some legendary skulls out there. Looking at you, fighter. It has the damage, it has movement optimization and dodge mechanics, and it looks hella cool to be honest. Then why is it at rank 3? Well, because the other 2 skulls above it are just straight up bonkers. Let's talk about them. At rank 2, the Archmage. Now hold on, just wait a minute. Before you grab your pitchforks and torches, hear me out. This skull is probably the coolest skull there is, maybe excluding the Reaper and the Lich, but the animation and the SFX alone for this skull are ridiculous. Any argument that can be made against this skull can be easily responded with, "Does your skull drop a fucking meteor on your goddamn enemies?" No? Well, I guess you need to shut the fuck up. This skull is basically the Madara Uchiha of all skulls. All his other skills are pretty cool, but honestly, when you can drop an entire meteor on your enemies, then does it really matter what other abilities you have? I'm not even gonna talk about its basic attacks dealing high damage and having increased base attack speed. Not gonna talk about how this skull can launch a Kamehameha, or it has 4 arms because it got tired of using just 2. Did I mention it can drop a goddamn meteor on the entire Carleon army? The only reason this skull is not at rank 1 is the charge time. It takes kinda long to channel its abilities to its maximum potential. It's just not practical that you're charging your attacks while the Leilana sisters are whooping your ass left and right. To be honest with you, I think this skull needs a little bit of nerf, because you can one-shot the mini-bosses with this. In any game, if you can one-shot any boss with just 1 spell, I think you need to balance that spell, like a little bit. I enjoy playing this skull, I'm not gonna lie. The community is gonna be so pissed at me, "Oh, you nerfed this skull." No, maybe give him less damage on the meteor impact, but reduce his charge time so it scales well. Because right now its damage is on par with the Reaper and the Lich. It's just insane. Finally, rank 1. The strongest of all unique skulls. The Prisoner. Now, I did have trouble deciding between the Prisoner and the Archmage. The reason the Prisoner came out on top is because it has very short cooldowns on skills that are very high DPS. Like, this guy shreds even through the tougher enemies very quickly. It doesn't matter if you have a physical or magical build or even a hybrid build. It still works, because the base skull itself is so powerful. It has everything you need in a skull. Crowd control, damage, evasion, dodge animations. And it looks like your head is on fire. I mean, how cool is that? This isn't even the ridiculous part about this skull. The skull has the passive to generate cells, and collecting 5 of these cells will provide you with a random buff of damage, defense or cooldowns. And these buffs stack. In the recent patch, the devs, shout out to Southpaw Games by the way, the devs separated all damage type to show how the damage is received by enemy units, which made most skulls lose that edge of insane damage that they had. Not this guy. This guy still deals ridiculous amounts of damage and provides you with everything you need in a run. What was that? You disagree with the list? You think the Berserker is the best unique skull there is? Leave a comment down below and we'll discuss why you're fucking wrong. I mean, we'll discuss if you're right, which you're probably not. If you like more Skull the Hero Slayer content, subscribe and like this video. Because if you don't, I'll just drop a meteor on your head. How about that? Alright, I'm out.